Our overview of the reproductive system begins at the external genital area, or vulva,
Well, I'm sure that this is going to be very interesting.
which runs from the pubic area downward to the rectum. Two folds of fatty, fleshy tissue surround the entrance to the vagina and the urinary opening, the labia majora, or outer folds, and the labia minora, or inner folds. The clitoris is a relatively short organ, less than 1 inch long, shielded by a hood of flesh. When stimulated sexually, the clitoris can become erect like a man's penis. The hymen, a thin membrane protecting the entrance of the vagina, stretches when you insert a tampon or have intercourse. From this point onward, the reproductive system leads deeper and deeper into the body. The vagina is a muscular, rigid sheath connecting the external genitals to the uterus, where the embryo grows into a fetus during pregnancy. In the reproductive progress, the vagina functions as a two-way street, accepting the penis and sperm during intercourse, and roughly 9 months later, serving as the avenue of birth through which the new baby enters the world. The vagina ends at the cervix, the lower portion or neck of the uterus. Like the vagina, the cervix has dual reproductive functions. After intercourse, sperm ejaculated into the vagina pass through the cervix, then proceed through the uterus to the fallopian tubes where, if a sperm encounters an ovum, conception occurs. The cervix is lined with mucus, the quality and quantity of which is governed by monthly fluctuations in the levels of the two principal sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone. When estrogen levels are low, the mucus tends to be thick and sparse, which makes it difficult for sperm to reach the fallopian tubes.
Now I'm stuck!
But when an egg is ready for fertilization and estrogen levels are high, the mucus then becomes thin and slippery, offering a much more friendly environment to sperm as they struggle towards their goal. Later, at the end of pregnancy, the cervix acts as the passage through which the baby exits the uterus into the vagina. The cervical canal expands to roughly 50 times its normal width in order to accommodate the passage of the baby during birth. The uterus is the muscular organ which holds the developing baby during the 9 months after conception. Like the cervical canal, the uterus expands considerably during the reproductive process. In fact, the organ grows to from 10 to 20 times its normal size during pregnancy. Each month the uterus goes through a cyclical change, first building up its endometrium or inner lining to receive a fertilized egg, then, if conception does not occur, shedding the unused tissue through the vagina in the monthly process called menstruation. Beyond the uterus, the fallopian tubes connect the rest of the system to the ultimate source of the eggs, the two ovaries. Each of these tubes is roughly 5 inches long and ranges in width from about 1 inch at the end next to the ovary, to the diameter of a strand of thin spaghetti. The trumpet-shaped part near the ovary has about 20 to 25 feathery projections called fimbria, one of which is attached to the ovary. It is the fimbria that each month urge an egg to exit the ovary and begin its trip towards the uterus. The ovaries are a woman's storehouse of egg cells. The egg cells remain inactive until puberty, when the reproductive system is activated by a cascade of substances called sex hormones. Then, each month about 20 egg cells, each encased in a sac called a follicle, begin to ripen. Responding selectively to the sex hormones, one follicle becomes dominant while the others shrink away. The egg within the dominant follicle continues ripening to maturity. Then, helped by the feathery fimbria, it exits the ovary and enters the adjacent fallopian tube to be either fertilized or, if conception fails to occur, expelled from the body during menstruation. If fertilization is to occur, it usually happens when the egg's journey is about 1/3 complete. Once a sperm unites with the egg, its surrounding gelatinous coat releases substances that prevent more sperm from entering.